What you got?
PNG type in. Oxyranus, scutulatus, cani.
Okay, let me get angle. Not yet. Okay, hold on. Go.
Oh, got me twice, I think.
Is that it? That's good?
That's it.
Okay.
You get it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, is there anything you wanted to add on? I do got
Oxyranus, scutulatus, cani, my third bite.
third bite. Okay, I do got one question because it's a small snake and people are probably going to ask. And that snake's a lot bigger than it was when we first got it.
Yep. And look at the color on the back. I don't know if you can capture that.
Oh, yeah, there it is right
Iridescence.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Oh, you're bleeding.
Oh, yeah.
Check that out. All right.
Definitely got me good.
Monocle just struck at you.
No talking,
Yo.
please, no talking. Dendroaspis polylepis, LD50, 0.25.
Can I touch the bottom before you do that?
Ready?
Yep.
Two bites. Nice. Son of a bitch. Thank you. Oh, man.
I just touched a fucking black mamba.
Back in you go.
I think I'm take three bites. Like two and a half.
You guys all saw two on that, right?
I saw
Yo.
two.
And you can see the swelling already. Yeah, 1 inch by 1 inch. Right there with blood. And that was bite 74 and 75, I believe.
Because you had two this time.
I always count them because I only count them if people see them. I don't count them by myself. If it's
Really?
on camera, film because people are not going to believe it.
What would you say? How many bites have you taken off camera, including also on camera, as a total as compared to your 74 that you're now at today?
Half were probably filmed.
This is the man right here.
Pretty.
Because I wouldn't do it.
Pretty.
I mean, I might be able to take
That's
a
a little
bite and
tight spot
survive,
right
but I
there.
don't really want to find out.
I probably might have a fan crack off in there.
Yeah, is that just your?
And that's also a.
Bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue sur Histoire et Révélations. Aujourd'hui, dans Histoire et Révélations, nous recevons un invité au parcours totalement hors norme. Passionné de serpents depuis l'enfance, Tim Friede s'est volontairement exposé pendant des années à certains des venins les plus mortels au monde dans le but de développer une immunité unique. Mordu plus de 200 fois et injecté plus de 800 reprises, son incroyable parcours a finalement attiré l'attention des chercheurs travaillant sur un antivenin universel capable de sauver des millions de vies. Entre science, prise de risque, obsession et avancée médicale, nous allons revenir avec lui sur une histoire absolument fascinante. Tim, merci beaucoup d'avoir accepté mon invitation.
Tim, he said that thank you very much to accept the invitation to talk about the subject of what's in your life with the snakes.
Well, I retired from snake bite in 2018. I got rid of my snakes and retired from it.
Okay. comment dire, en retraite par rapport aux serpents depuis 2018.
OK.
You still have a lot of things to share with people because you have a big experience of it.
Yeah. I basically I developed a vaccine in myself to beat snakebite, to not die. I replaced the horse, the equines. I wanted to make myself immune so I didn't need to use antivenom. And when it all ended, we made an antivenom because of what I did. So it's kind of weird, um, how that works, but that's what we made because I made myself immune. I didn't want to die from snakebite. I
Mhm.
didn't live where there's a lot of snakes that can kill me. I represent people in the old world, basically, that die by snake venom, that can't represent themselves, that are expendable. Um, snake bite is a non-transferable, non-infectious disease. I cannot give that to you.
Mhm.
So I represent people that don't have a lot of money, that die by snake bite, and I put myself on the line to prove you can make a human immune to snake bite. And that's exactly what I did. And then we developed an antivenom because of that, because I made myself immune.
Et donc il dit qu'il a voulu, représenter tous les gens qui meurent, à cause des morsures, de serpents et qui peuvent pas se représenter par eux-mêmes parce qu'ils sont morts, que ce sont souvent des gens qui ont peu d'argent et que donc il a rendu son corps, immunisé par rapport aux morsures de serpents, justement pour représenter, tout ce public qui n'a pas le droit à la parole.
OK. J'ai oublié de préciser, donc je serai accompagné de Mélia pour faire la traduction en anglais. Donc on va commencer par les questions. Comment, un enfant fasciné par les serpents est-il devenu un homme prêt à risquer sa vie pour eux?
Okay, Tim, if you don't mind, we begin with the question. And the first question of Zeriko will be, how did a child fascinated by snakes become a man willing to risk his life for them?
Well, I represent humanity. I represent people that die from snake bite. Um, for me, it was a big puzzle.
Mhm.
People die from snake bite. So I'm like, okay, how do I fix that? Number one, I made myself immune. Number two, I had to reach out to every scientist on the planet to get
Okay.
studied in peer review like we did in Cell Press on May
Tim,
2nd,
Tim, I'm
2020.
sorry. I just need time, to translate because after I scared to forget some stuff that you said, and it's very interesting. So I need just to translate directly in French. So en fait, il dit qu'il représente vraiment l'humanité, en fait, qu'il a voulu se rendre immunisé donc contre ces morsures justement pour aider le maximum de personnes par rapport à ce problème. Et comment il a fait? Ben, il a dû passer par son corps pour ça et faire tout ce qu'il a fait.
OK. Vous vous
More things
souvenez,
to
de
say
la
about
première
it?
fois, où vous avez ressenti une, véritable fascination pour les serpents?
Okay, Tim. Do you remember the first time you felt a real fascination for snakes?
Yeah, in 1973, I was 5 years old. I had my first snake bite and it scared me and I cried and it hurt. And I just kept pushing forward. And obviously, I was 5 years old. I didn't even know what a snake was. I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
I was only five. And
Donc,
then,
il décide en 1973, il avait que 5 ans, il s'était fait mordre par un serpent et c'était affreusement douloureux. Et donc, cette fascination a commencé à ce moment-là. Do you want to say something more about that?
I'm sorry I missed that question.
No, I want to ask you if you want to talk more about your experience, your first experience when you get 5.
Yeah. I mean, when I really got big into it, I was milking scorpions and spiders as a hobby.
Mhm.
And then I realized that 125,000 people a year die from snake bite. 5 million people are bitten and over 400,000 amputations. And for me, those numbers were so big that I realized that I had to do something with it. Although I was doing it in myself and made the vaccine in my own body, how do I get it out to the world?
Mmh. Donc il avait comme hobby, d'avoir des araignées et des scorpions, mais il s'est rendu compte qu'il y avait, énormément de personnes qui décédaient à cause des morsures de serpents et il a voulu prendre part à trouver une solution par rapport à ça et c'est comme ça qu'il a commencé à s'immuniser par rapport aux morsures de serpents.
OK. Et justement, la toute première fois, quand il a pris, l'initiative par lui-même de se faire mordre par un serpent, au premier geste, qu'est-ce qu'il a ressenti à l'instant T? Est-ce qu'il a ressenti le venin couler dans ses veines? Est-ce qu'il a eu peur? Quelle a été sa réaction?
Okay. Tim, could you explain us the first time that you take the decision to make you bite by a snake? What kind of feeling did you felt when you received the venom inside of your blood, inside of your veins?
It was very scary. Because you're dealing with, cobra bites and black mamba bites and taipan bites. And I work with doctors now, but in the past I didn't work with doctors. So I basically had to put my life on the line to
Mhm.
see if I can live or die. Otherwise, it's obviously not going to work. And when I knew it worked and I started to get studied back in 2001 and 2002 and 2003, that really transformed a lot of things because it's one thing to get bit and beat it mentally and physically, but to take it to peer review and get studied is a whole new beast. It's a whole new thing. I mean,
It's another game.
I am a non-degreed individual. I don't have a degree. So for me to get studied in a peer-reviewed journal was
Mhm.
my ultimate goal because what's the point of me getting bitten by snakes if I can't save people's lives? It's a waste of
Exactly.
time. And I'm not going to waste my time doing that. And I did it to prove it works in me. And then I took it to a new level of academia. I took it to the scientific world. And
Uh-huh.
I worked really, really hard on doing that for, well, today, 25 years, to get to the point of cell press, May 2nd, 25 last year. And it's a really weird thing to translate to people because I live in a place where nobody dies from snake bite. I
Mhm.
represent people that are in the opposite side of the world that die from snake bite.
Exactly.
So it
Uh,
was really, really hard to push that and to get studied at that level with PhD chemists and immunologists and, you name it. So that was the goal, not originally. The goal was to save my life. And when I did that, the next goal was how many lives can I save? Can I make
okay.
a difference with this? Or am I just another YouTube fucking loser? And I didn't want to be that person. I wanted to take it so seriously that I got studied to make a big difference. And that's exactly what we did.
OK. Donc et au début, quand il a eu la première morsure, ben, c'était complètement, il était apeuré et ça faisait très peur. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il avait personne autour de lui, il n'avait pas d'équipe, d'immunologue ou des choses comme ça et donc il a travaillé tout seul et il a dû mettre sa vie en péril pour, apprendre. Donc il a appris vraiment sur le terrain et les choses ont changé. The things changed in 2001, right? And you have some doctor and stuff like that helping you, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now I work with a ton of doctors. I mean, everybody I work with is a doctor.
Donc
Um,
à partir de 2001, les choses ont changé complètement parce qu'il a eu, plus, d'entourage, médical, qu'il a eu des immunologues, des gens qui ont voulu travailler avec lui et qui ont voulu étudier son parcours et ce qu'il avait fait pour, rendre son corps immunisé.
D'accord. Mais, chose incroyable, on n'arrive pas à s'en rendre compte, il a quand même, plus de 200 morsures de serpents sur tous les continents de la planète. Est-ce qu'il peut nous expliquer un peu tous les types de serpents qu'il a utilisés, quoi?
Oui et juste, par rapport à son ancienne question, il disait que ce qui était incroyable, c'est que justement lui, il se faisait mordre par des serpents pour aider des gens de l'autre côté de la planète parce que là où il vit, il n'y a pas de décès, dus à des morsures de serpents.
D'accord.
OK. Tim, It's amazing that you've been bite by 200 times by a snake, and this incredible to imagine how many snakes they bite you, and also the question is all kind of snake, of dangerous snake biting you, like you told me, cobra or black mamba or stuff like that?
Well, there's two different divisions. There's viperidae, pit vipers, and vipers, and there's a lapidae. And a lapidae is where we started, which are cobras, mambas, kraits, and everything in Australia are lap.
Uh-huh.
And we started with that, and that's where D09 and B03 in the paper came from. And that's what I started with to make myself immune. And
Okay,
when
so
they
you start with
extract,
cobra and black mamba, right?
yeah, and that's where they extracted the DNA from my B cells to
Uh-huh.
clone my good antibodies, my IgG antibodies. And that's how the whole project began. Is
Okay.
we took those two families of snakes and we figured out how we're going to do this. Because there's 64 different families in snake venom that are dangerous. Mainly 4 of them. 75% are enzymes. 25% are peptides. 3-finger toxins. The rest are PLA2s, metalloproteinase, and serine proteinase. So what we're trying to do is consolidate making antibodies in a vial of antivenom where we don't need things that don't work, whether it be synergistic or non-toxic to humans. And so that's why our antivenom is going to be so powerful, is because we're focused on the things that kill and dismember. We don't care about the other 60 families. We only care about those 4 I mentioned. And that is the whole key to this. When they make antivenom, they have all these antibodies in a vial that don't do anything. We don't want that. We want that vial to contain BNAbs, which are broadly neutralizing antibodies to the things that kill or dismember. And we're so focused on that. That's why one antibody, D09, that came out in the paper, one antibody neutralized death in 13 out of 19 snakes. One antibody. And
Okay.
that leads me to believe that we don't need the other antibodies. They don't do anything. So we're strictly focused on that, and that is our mission. And that's what's working in vivo in mice.
Okay. So if I have a really good understand, because I want to be very fidel of what you're saying. So if there is 64 family of dangerous snakes, but there are only 4 family on main dangerous, and that you study about with your DNA and detect some stuff in your DNA and mix up with the dangerous venom, and they make a solution for everybody, right?
Yeah, that's the goal, is to have a universal antivenom, because right now you need to know what snake bites you and what antivenom to take with what snake bites you. If it's a universal antivenom, it doesn't matter what snake bites you. You can just take the antivenom, and that's our goal. It doesn't
Okay.
matter where you are in the world. And
Okay.
you can take the antivenom, and it doesn't matter what bit you, is our goal. Is that
Okay.
achievable? I don't know yet. I hope so, because it makes
I
sense.
hope so.
If it's not, then we have to have 2 products. You have to do a lapidae and you have to do viperidae. 2 different things. And if we can combine that, that's great. But if we can't, we still need to have 2 products. Hopefully we can have 1 product. But
Okay.
time will tell with studies.
OK, donc Zélico, il y a 64 familles de serpents dangereux mortels, mais lui, il se concentre sur 4 des familles les plus dangereuses. Et ce qu'ils font à travers l'étude de son sang et de sa génétique, ben, c'est qu'ils essayent de construire un vaccin, enfin comment dire? Oui, un anti-venin universel. Ça veut dire que tu sois mordu par, ce serpent ou ce serpent-là, ça changera pas. Tu n'auras besoin que de prendre l'anti-venin universel, alors que maintenant tu dois, utiliser 2 stratégies de médicaments pour pouvoir te soigner. Et comme lui, son but est de donner justement, cet accès, au plus de monde possible et il y a des gens qui sont, démunis, ben, ce serait intéressant d'avoir un anti venin universel.
Au début, il a parlé de scorpions et d'araignées.
Mmh.
Heu, Est-ce qu'il a fait la même chose ou c'est uniquement que pour les serpents?
Okay. Tim, um, before in the beginning of the conversation, you spoke about spider and scorpion. Have you done the same stuff that you make for snakes with the scorpions and spider?
Well, you can because they do make antivenom for those animals, but
Because
they don't kill a lot of people. Scorpions only kill about 1,000 people a year,
okay,
and spiders, not many at all. So I redirected my focus to
on snake.
ophidians, to snakes, because
Okay,
they kill more people. It's a bigger problem.
okay,
But when I started, it was the same principle. Venom is venom. I mean,
exactly. Donc,
there's so many venomous creatures out there that can kill people, but I focused on the snakes because they kill the most people. They're the
okay,
most dangerous thing to humanity. And that's where I turned my attention away from arachnids, etc., and focused on snakes and focused on what kills people and how we can. Antivenom's been around for 130 years.
mhm,
Um, since Albert Calmetti, speaking of France, that's where antivenom pretty much started. Albert Calmetti. And that's how it started. So hopefully we can actually change taking antivenom from other animals, mainly horses, and take it from a human, which is a really big deal because we can reduce anaphylactic shock as well. Not just have a better product, but 30% of people that get antivenom have anaphylactic shock because it's a foreign protein. This is not a foreign protein, it comes from a human being. So it's way more powerful. We can have a better antivenom and hopefully solve anaphylactic shock that's been around for 130 years. It's Albert Calmetti.
OK, donc Zelico, au début, oui, bien sûr, il était intéressé par, tout ce qui était, venin, que ce soit d'araignée ou de scorpion, mais il s'est vite, détourné de ça et il s'est concentré sur les serpents parce que, le quota de mortalité au niveau des scorpions et des araignées est limite, ridicule par rapport à celui des morsures de serpents et que vraiment lui, il est attiré par, ce fait-là de donner un maximum au maximum de gens, à des gens, qui savent pas, qui n'ont pas accès facilement à des traitements. Et donc, c'est pour ça aussi qu'il, se concentre sur cette, fabrication, enfin, en tout cas, cette conception d'antivenin pour que ce soit vraiment universel et à la portée du plus grand nombre.
D'accord, et justement au niveau de la recherche, on en est où actuellement?
About the science and the searching, what's the deal for the moment?
Well, right now, we want to do the Elapidate cocktail, and we're pretty much done with that now. And we need to do more testing. And at that point, we need to move over to Viperidae, vipers and pit vipers, which include rattlesnakes and Russell's vipers and saw-scaled vipers. And we need to prove in the lab that our antibodies can neutralize that. Because we have about 300 Viperidae species and about 300 elapid species. You're looking at over 600 venomous snakes out of the 3,000.
Mhm.
That's a lot of snakes to neutralize and a lot of fractions to neutralize. It's not
Okay,
one fraction, it's hundreds of fractions.
you
So
mean that you keep on working on the different snakes, right? If I
yeah,
I
we have to
understand.
just pick and choose worldwide how we want to start this. And how we're going to start this is it's really cool. We're going to start in Australia in Perth. We want to start with cats, dogs, and cattle. We want to save animals, not just humans, but dogs, cats, cattle. And if we can do that, then we can transition over to FDA phase 1, 2, and 3 easier because they're larger animals than a 20-gram mouse. And if we can do that, that'll be huge, not just for dogs and cats, but a step in the right direction for humans. And we want to start that in Perth, Australia, with a vet that we met, Claire Sharp, at Venom Week. And if we can start with that, that'll be a fantastic. And we're talking to them right now. We just have to work through the legalities of it and the politics of it, but that'll be a great start. And then we can move over to India,
Mhm.
where most people die. 100,000 people a year die in Asia. 50,000 people just in India. So we're going to
Okay.
jump over from Australia to India. And then once we do trials in India, we can just keep building on that. If it works, great. If not, we have to fix it and find something that's not working. So
Oh, exactly. So first of all, your research are concentrate on Australia, and you're gonna help dogs and cats because there is a lot of cats and dogs dying about snakes bite.
Yep.
And after if it work good, you're gonna focus your research on India and help a lot of people in India, right?
yeah, India is our big goal because the big four are over there. Russell's viper, spectacled cobra, blue crate, and saw-scaled viper. And those
Yeah.
4 snakes, just in India, kill roughly 50,000 people a year. That's a lot.
50,000. Okay.
50,000. Yeah, so we need to focus on that, and we need to determine if we can beat that problem. If we can't beat that problem in India, we're not gonna beat it anywhere else.
Okay.
So we're gonna start in Australia, where it's just the lapids. It's taipans, it's brown snakes, it's mulgas, it's tiger snakes, it's you name it. And if we can beat that, we can transition around the world with cats and dogs and vet people as well as humans, and just slowly progression into going around the world and trying to solve this, not just with humans, but with animals.
Okay. But first of all, you're gonna begin with the animals in Australia, right?
Yeah, we're gonna start in Perth, Australia, hopefully. We were supposed to start last year, but we had some complications with that, and we're gonna start this year because 'cause we're almost ready to do it in Australia. And then once we do that, and we can prove that and get published, then we can advance in other areas of the world where snakebite death is a major problem.
OK. Donc Xavico, il va en fait, ça aurait dû commencer déjà l'année dernière. Il va se concentrer sur l'Australie. Et pourquoi l'Australie? Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de sortes de serpents qui sont, très dangereuses.
Oui.
Et pour l'Australie, il va se concentrer sur tout ce qui est animaux domestiques, donc beaucoup de chiens et beaucoup de chats qui sont mordus par, des serpents, mortels et qui décèdent de ça. Et donc, en se concentrant sur, ces différentes sortes de serpents et sur déjà des animaux, si c'est concluant, que ça fonctionne très bien, il va pouvoir, mettre son focus sur l'Inde parce qu'en Inde, chaque année, il y a plus de 50 000 personnes qui meurent, de morsures de serpents, venimeux, enfin qui sont toxiques et très dangereux. Donc si ça fonctionne au niveau de l'Inde, qu'après avoir passé, de Perth en Australie jusqu'en Inde et que ça fonctionne également sur les humains, alors là, il pourra se concentrer et diffuser ça au reste du monde.
OK, j'arrive pas encore à imaginer une personne dite classique de se faire mordre par un cobra sur la quantité de venin qu'ils peuvent injecter. Est-ce que lui, il a quelque chose en particulier ou pas avec le temps? Est-ce qu'il a eu des séquelles ou pas du tout?
Okay. It's difficult for Zeliko to imagine somebody land that be bitten by a cobra, for example. And could you tell us if it's because you have been bitten by so much snakes that your blood is different and you can resist? Et le restant de ta question, c'était quoi?
Here's a really good way to well, you have to dilute the venom down first. You can't just get bit because you're gonna die. So I diluted it down to 0.01 milligrams to 6 milligrams in pretty much 4 months. I had the math so figured out just by experimentations on myself that you have to do that before a bite. Once you get the pure venom, like 6 milligrams of venom, pretty much a lethal dose with what I do, then you can beat the bite. And once you do that, then you do maintenance doses. Like in my
Oh,
fridge right here, I have a whole bunch of venom that I can inject pure venom, lethal doses to maintain my immunity. And I have to maintain that immunity because your titer levels drop in time. They don't last forever, although mine actually have. I went back to the lab and they studied me, and my titer levels after 8 years of retiring are as
mhm.
strong as when I was doing it because I did it for so hard for so long. And
Mhm.
that's very, very key. The more venom you can tolerate, the higher your titer levels are going to be. And I mean IgG titer levels, which are 80% of your antibodies are IgG. That's all I care about. I don't care about the other four. I just care about IgG. And that's how I created it in myself to make myself immune. And then once I get to a point of bites or immunity at that high level, then I can do 4 or 5 shots a year with a certain snake or many snakes and become immune. And that's
Okay.
exactly what I did. I kind of like wrote the book on it by using my own body for self experimentation for medicine.
And the first time, did you dilute also?
Oh man, well, the first bite I had, I was scared, man. I
Mhm.
first time you get bit by a cobra, it's breathtakingly scary. And then a mamba, breathtakingly scary. And then a taipan, scary. So I picked the most dangerous snakes in the world that I could find. Not all of them because I couldn't get to all of them. Not many people breed these snakes. So I picked the most dangerous snakes in the world to prove my immunity. And then I videotaped it. I actually got bit by it. And I didn't want to talk about it. Although I knew what was happening, I wanted to feel what it was really like to be bitten live. And for years and years and years to keep doing it because of the people that died from snake venom. I was supporting those people. It wasn't about me. It was about the people that died from snake bite and what can I do to make a difference with that?
Yeah, it was more
That's
than
why I pushed so hard.
OK, donc il dit qu'au début, il s'est fait mordre par un cobra, puis par un black mamba et que c'était affreusement douloureux et ça faisait hyper peur parce qu'il savait pas très bien où il allait avec, ses morsures. Mais il a appris à diluer, en fait, ce venin et de prendre des petites quantités, d'habituer son corps à prendre des petites quantités pour pouvoir justement immuniser son corps et supporter, les morsures, qu'il prenait.
Donc, ma deuxième question, c'est de savoir est-ce qu'il a été blessé et s'il avait gardé des séquelles ou pas du tout?
Attends, did you been, hurt by snake with the bite of the snake? And did you still have some hurts from that?
Yeah, I was in ICU for 4 days, flatlined, almost dead.
I'm sorry, what is ICU is a hospital?
Yeah, the hospital. I was in a coma after 2 cobra bites back in 2001. Um,
Okay. When you begin with the doctor, right?
yeah, when I began, I made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of errors, man. And I've had anaphylactic shock, IgE, different than IgG, 12 times, and that can kill you faster than venom can kill you.
Mmh. Donc il a
I
fait des anaphylactiques anaphylactique et il a également été 2 fois dans le coma.
Oui, par rapport à ça, qu'il a été pendant 4 jours, dans le coma, qu'est-ce qui vous a poussé à continuer au lieu d'arrêter définitivement?
Et ce que tu dois comprendre, c'est que c'est au-dessus de lui, en fait. Il arrête pas de le répéter dans le sens où il fait pas ça que pour lui. Il fait ça
Oui,
vraiment pour l'humanité. Tu vois? Donc ça le dépasse, en fait. C'est pas que sa petite personne. Il pense
oui.
vraiment à l'humanité tout entière. Il cherche des solutions pour pouvoir aider les gens qui se font mordre.
Et donc du coup, il est resté 4 jours, dans le coma. Est-ce qu'il a été pris en charge? Bah, de nous expliquer un petit peu en détail, qu'est-ce qui s'est passé et comment ça s'est passé?
Donc ce qu'il me disait juste à la fin de la conversation, c'est qu'il a fait les comas à partir de 2001, quand il a commencé à travailler avec l'équipe médicale et que, c'est à partir de ce moment-là, il a fait beaucoup d'erreurs, il disait au début, mais bon voilà, il a vraiment appris sur le terrain, en fait.
Vos proches comprenaient-ils cette passion ou vous considéraient-ils déjà comme, différents?
Tim, did your relative, understand this passion or did they already see you as different?
I'm sorry, what is it?
Did your relative, I mean, your family, your friends and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that, they understand this passion and this willing of, helping people, or did they already seen you as different, as weird?
Yeah, they were pretty freaked out that I was taking on such a horrible task, a monumental task, if you will. They didn't understand why I'm representing people from the other part of the world.
Okay.
They had no clue why I'm going to represent people in Africa, in Asia, in Australia, and Central South America. When I'm in the middle of Wisconsin, live in the middle of the woods, they're like,
Mhm.
why are you putting your life on the line to
Okay.
represent people you're never going to meet?
Because it's more than you, right?
Yeah, it was for me, like every time I open up the computer or my phone, somebody dies from snake bite, which is like 333 people a day, and 3 million people have died since I started doing this. I owed it to those people to keep going and to keep pushing. Even though I'll never meet them, I'll never know 'em. I'll be
Mhm.
dead before the things in the field, to be honest. But that's not why I live my life. I live my life to do the right thing again for humanity, to solve that puzzle, to solve snakebite death. I did it in myself. I've proven that. I did it in publications. I've proven that.
Mhm.
So for me, it feels really good to sleep at night knowing that I represent people that are going to die. And I put
Exactly.
my life on the line for that because I can't ask anybody else to do that. I have to do it on my own. I can't ask you to do it. So I did it on my own and I pushed myself for 2 decades to make a difference with it. And that for me was the biggest thing about this whole thing. At the end of the day, when you can do something for humanity, like Nobel Prize winners have done, and I've talked to 2 of them for humanity. One of them, Dr. Barry Marshall, who I've talked to, who won the Nobel Prize in 2005 for drinking bacteria to prove ulcers were this or that. And to be in that company and to represent people that die from something is an amazing feeling for me. It that's the high I get out of it. It's not
Mhm.
an addiction, it's an addiction to humanity. And you don't do it for 2 decades without believing in that because number 1, you're gonna die. Number 2, you're gonna go broke. And I didn't wanna do those things. So, at the end of the day, I feel really good about what I did. Was it perfect? No. I've made a ton of mistakes that I had to fess up to. But at the end of the day, I kept going nonstop, and I still go nonstop. I still keep going. There's
It,
still
it makes you feel good inside,
oh
right?
my god, it feels the greatest thing in the world is if some kid from Africa walks up to me and says, "Hey, Tim, my family's alive because of you." Because you have to understand that one snake bite, if you take out the hunter, the fisherman, the cook, the cleaner, the people that build the houses, you take down the whole village. When
Mhm.
that person's gone from snake bite death, somebody else has to fill that role.
Exact.
It's not one death, it's the whole community, it's the whole tribe. And that's
Wow.
very, very common. So if I can save that person, I can save the whole tribe.
It's very
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's a fact.
Donc ce qu'il disait, en fait, Zélico, c'est que bien évidemment, ses proches l'ont pris pour quelqu'un de bizarre, en fait, de mettre sa vie en péril comme ça. Il est au beau milieu du Wisconsin et il y a pas de raison de faire ce genre de choses et il comprenait pas pourquoi il voulait représenter tous ces gens qui sont aux 4 coins du monde, souvent dans des pays, comment dire? Où il y a de la pauvreté et cetera et qu'il comprenait enfin, sa famille, ses amis ne comprenaient pas pourquoi il se mettait en danger pour des gens qu'il connaissait même pas. Et en fait, ce que tu m'expliques, c'est qu'il le fait pas que pour lui et tu ne peux pas le faire pendant 20 ans que pour toi, en fait. C'est vraiment un comment dire? Quelque chose qui l'a amené à ça parce que c'est plus grand que lui, en fait. Il fait ce cadeau à l'humanité parce qu'il est capable de le faire et qu'il peut le faire et qu'il a mis les conditions pour le faire. Mais, que oui, ses proches ne comprennent pas forcément, sa mise en péril, pourquoi il le fait pour des gens, qui sont souvent, sans argent et qui sont de l'autre côté de la planète, qu'il ne connaît même pas. Mais lui, il dit que ça le dépasse et qu'il fait ça pour l'humanité, pour, apporter des solutions à l'humanité. Parce qu'il faut pas oublier que quand, un comment dire? Un pêcheur ou un cuisinier ou quelqu'un en Afrique dans un petit village qui se fait mordre par un serpent et il meurt, c'est pas juste cette personne qui meurt. Son rôle doit être remplacé et cetera et donc ça met la communauté en péril et donc il voit, dans un par rapport à un horizon beaucoup plus large que sa petite personne ou juste, la personne qui a été, mordue. C'est dans une globalité, en fait.
D'accord. Heu, vous dites souvent avoir beaucoup appris seul en imologie. Comment se forme-t-on, à un domaine aussi complexe sans parcours académique?
Tim, you say a lot that working with immunology and I mean you understand the stuff and you study the stuff on the ground. I mean directly with your body. So how could you explain that that you can touch this the immunology so precisely without making some big study and stuff like that.
I mean, well, I'm non-degreed, I'm self-taught, autodidactic, they call it, and I basically trained myself to understand what's gonna happen to me.
Mhm.
Book-wise, my entire library here is books, but it's different when you get bit. It's a whole new ball game. When you read a book that's 1,000 pages on immunology and snake venom biochemistry and amino acids and DNA, and then you have to get bit. It's a whole the whole ball game changes because
Okay.
you have to know, can you survive that bite? And I had a lot of bad ones, a lot of double bites, actually. And, you have to kind of combine the physicality with it, which I call saddle time, actually doing it, not talking about it, and then reading about it on what is happening with snake venom, how is it affecting me, and how can I survive it? So I took both those things and I coupled it together and I created a big picture of what I wanted to do, not just with myself, but for the people that died from snake bite.
Mhm.
And like I said, in 125 years, it's never changed, which I think is crazy. But with the advent of biotechnology and working with PhD chemists and immunologists, we learned to put all that stuff together to make this cool product that can make a difference. And we have.
Mhm.
And for me, it feels really good just to be that small middleman in the middle of the picture.
But very
Without the lab, I'm nothing. I mean, the lab's everything. They have done everything. I've done a lot and I gave them my blood, but what they did and what they can do in a lab is just to clone my antibodies, how they showed me how to do it in the lab
Mhm.
is mind-boggling. how they can take DNA extracted from my B cells, DNA, the instructions, and actually clone that is a fascinating thing. And here's another fact. 25% of my antibodies are directed towards venom.
A what?
25% of my antibodies are directed strictly towards venom.
Okay.
And so now when you get a flu shot or a COVID shot, you know what you have? You have 1%. I have 25%. A quarter of my blood plasma is directed towards neutralizing snake venom.
Mhm.
And for me, when I heard that fact, I'm like, holy crap, man, that's a lot. And that's why I can beat so many snakes. It's because I did so many things over time, and I just broke around the entire world with taipans and mambas and cobras and rattlesnakes.
It's like an addition of all the venom you get inside your body, and your plasma keep on have 25% of it that contains some different venom, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I have more venom specific antibodies in my body than most people have antibodies. I have that many antibodies that are just directed towards, oh, get bit by a black mamba, neutralize it. Bit by a crate, neutralize it. Get bit by a taipan, neutralize it. Get bit by a brown snake, neutralize it. And I created that in my own body, and that's the vaccine that I made. In my own body, that we made the human antivenom with because of what I did, and I kept bouncing around. I didn't want just one snake. I wanted the worst of the worst of the worst and bounce all over the world.
OK. Donc il dit qu'en fait, lui, c'est un self-made, donc il a appris vraiment sur le terrain. Il est autodidacte, et il trouve ça passionnant de pouvoir combiner, en fait, son savoir, le ressenti qu'il a eu, lui, à travers son expérience, et de combiner ça, avec, des immunologues et des gens qui font des recherches, en venin de serpent. Il dit que lui, il est juste un maillon de la chaîne, mais que, les labos et les immunologues ont fait énormément parce qu'ils lui ont montré comment travailler sur, l'ADN, et il trouve ça complètement passionnant. Faut savoir aussi que son 25 de son plasma, peut, neutraliser n'importe quel, venin de serpent. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il a beaucoup travaillé avec énormément de sortes différentes, et il a pas travaillé qu'avec une sorte dangereuse, mais il a travaillé avec le pire du pire du pire pour pouvoir justement arriver à ça.
Ok, incroyable. Quel regard portez-vous sur les millions de personnes qui meurent encore de morsures faute de soins adaptés?
How you react about? I mean, I know because you just told me about in the conversation. In fact, the question is what you think about all the numbers of people dying, still dying of snake bites for the moment. And I know that you work on it, and you want to take to have the solution about that. You still working on it, right?
Yeah, I work on it every day. Um, and you know what? At this point, it's become an educational thing. You have to understand that even if we can get this great vial of antivenom,
Mhm,
let's say it's the best thing in the world. I don't know yet. Maybe it is, maybe it's not.
mhm.
Guess what? You have to educate the people that die from snake bite. You have to wear shoes. You have to have a clean house.
Mhm.
You have to have gas in your car. You have to have a phone. You have to have a doctor that you know you can get to that vial of antivenom with. The product is only as good if you can get to it. If you cannot get to it, you're going to die. You get bit by a black mamba, you got about 15, 20 minutes, you're going to die.
No.
So now we have to, and I do every day, talk to people on how to educate people not to go to traditional healers, to witch doctors. You're going to die. You have to find a way to get to the antivenom And that's going to be the struggle we are going to have the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Because if you're 4 miles away, 4 hours away from antivenom, and you're bitten by a saw scale viper, a Russell's viper, a cobra, a crate, you name it, doesn't matter. You have to get to it. So now what my job has become is educating people around the world how we're going to get to the product. Number 2, can we maybe drone it in? They already drone medicines in. Can we drone the antivenom in to a community to where somebody gets bit, they can put an address in and have it dropped off? I don't know yet. It's a great idea, but my point is you have to get to the product. Otherwise, the product is useless if you're going to die 2 hours before you get to it. So I constantly talk to people around the world and try to educate them to wear shoes when you're outside, sleep on a cot, have a tent, clean your house up. Snakes like rats. And if rats are in your house, you're going to have snakes. And a lot of people die because of that. So those are just basic, fundamental things people have to understand to save their own lives. And that's just the fact of the matter. I'm immune to it. It wouldn't matter to me. I could go outside and it wouldn't matter. But they're not. So they have to get to the antivenom. So we either get the antivenom to them fast or figure out vice versa how they are going to get to the antivenom. That's
Mhm.
very crucial.
En fait, ce qu'il dit, c'est que, par exemple, si tu es mordu par un black mamba, tu as 20 minutes de vie et après tu décèdes, tu vois? Et donc, par exemple, si tu es mordu par ce type de serpent, tu dois avoir la capacité d'aller jusqu'à un centre antipoison ou chez un médecin et cetera. Donc tu dois avoir, de l'essence dans ta voiture, tu dois avoir les moyens d'y aller, tu dois avoir quelqu'un qui te conduit parfois parce que c'est à un mauvais endroit, sur ton corps. Donc tout ça fait que il y a beaucoup de gens qui décèdent et qui sont pas pris en charge parce qu'il y a pas la possibilité d'être pris en charge, tu vois? Lui, son but, c'est d'éduquer les gens. C'est ce qu'il fait à travers le monde actuellement en disant: «OK les gars, il faut, ne pas aller dehors, sans chaussures. Il faut nettoyer sa maison parce que si ta maison n'est pas propre, tu vas avoir des rats. Les serpents adorent les rats et là où il y a des rats, il y a des serpents». Donc lui, son travail, il est là aussi dans le sens où il essaye d'éduquer un maximum de personnes pour qu'elles puissent minimiser les risques, tu vois? Et dans un deuxième temps, apporter, son antivenin, qui serait réalisé, dans des points stratégiques où les gens, pourraient se rendre rapidement et ne pas perdre de temps parce que leur temps de vie après une morsure est très court.
D'accord, OK. À quel moment avez-vous compris que votre sang pouvait avoir une valeur médicale mondiale?
Okay. When did you understand that your blood have a really value for the old world, the entire world?
Um, I think I realized the value that I had when I could take the bites and beat them.
When you what?
When I could handle the bites and beat them. That's when I realized that had a value to the world. Because if I could become immune and not use antivenom, for me, that was everything.
So it's a special snake, right? Because I'm sorry, I don't know a lot about snake. So it's a special snake that bites you and you keep on living, and so you understand that you was different.
Yeah, like when a taipan bit me or a black mamba bit me and I didn't die,
Uh huh.
and people die every day from that for the most part. Not so much in Australia, but then I realized that, wow, what am I going to do with this gift? How am I going to take beating snakebite to the national stage, to publications, to the world?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got bit a lot, and I get asked it a lot. How come I've been bitten so many times? It's because I was pissed off because people were dying from snakebite, not doing anything. And I was the person putting myself on the line, getting bitten. And I'm like, wow, what am I going to do? You know,
Exactly.
and then when
Exactly.
I realized that, I'm like, okay, I have to talk to scientists and doctors and just pretty much go crazy with just talking to people about it. And back in the day, I didn't realize what was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to get published. I never thought about it. But after being studied 6 times, and after Cell Press came out, I'm like, wow, everything I did was pretty much worth it.
Mhm.
You know, it made me feel so good, you know, to make a difference with it, even though, you know, I didn't do it for money or fame. I don't give a shit about that. But
Mhm.
just the effort it takes to do this, now it's been 25 years basically, to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, makes me feel good. At the end of the day, I know I did my job 1,000%. There's really nothing I can do anymore other than
You give,
interview and
you receive.
just nothing I can do anymore. You know, I've tapped everything out, whether it be bites, whether it be science, whether it be education, whether it be reading, whether it be anything. I pushed it so far that now I'm just sitting back and kind of enjoying it, the results of what I've done, and realizing and looking back on the mistakes I made and how to feel happy with what I did. And it wasn't perfect, but it's as perfect as it's gonna get in my mind, 100%.
Mm. Donc lui considère que c'est comme en fait, quand il a été mordu par, le black mamba ou par des cobras ou en tout cas des serpents qui étaient très agressifs et très mortels et là où la plupart des gens mouraient en fait de ça, qu'il a compris que lui, ben, s'en sortait, tu vois? Il a considéré qu'il avait comme reçu un don, tu vois? Et que, il voulait, en parler à un maximum de personnes qui étaient dans le domaine justement pour aider, tu vois, son prochain et aider le maximum de monde à travers, le monde parce qu'il se rendait bien compte que ça faisait une différence entre lui et les autres, tu vois? Et
D'accord.
il a vraiment ce leitmotiv de vouloir aider les autres. Il dit qu'il le fait pas pour l'argent, que c'est pas, ça la question, qu'il a fait énormément d'erreurs, que c'était pas parfait, mais qu'il est quand même arrivé à un résultat, qui fait que, il y a de l'espoir par rapport à son projet et par rapport au fait d'aider le maximum de gens et des gens qui ont pas forcément, des moyens extraordinaires.
D'accord, oui. C'est tout à son honneur. Et Tim, qu'avez-vous ressenti lorsqu'un chercheur, vous a enfin pris au sérieux?
Tim, what you felt when somebody in the medical section give you credits of what you was saying and what you was giving to him as analysis and data?
No, when, I had support from the medical doctors, um, I was blown away. Um, and it happened with a black mamba bite and a taipan bite back in, like, 2016, and that's how I found Jake and Cenovex, is I did a black mamba bite, taipan bite back to back on Barcroft TV, and Jake saw that, and he goes, "I want your blood." And I gave him 40 cc's of blood, and that was the best phone call I ever had in my life. And the reason I did that, excuse me, is to prove a point that you can become immune and people are dying and enough is enough. Let's fix this. And that's why I push it so hard. And at that point, that one video I did in a motel actually broke, bankrupt, changed my entire life. It
Yeah,
changed
but
changed
I
his
mean, in your feeling, because you work a lot, and the fact is, why you doing that is very beautiful because you want to help the whole world. You know, all the people get bite by snake, and it's very honor to see somebody like that. You know, who's put his body in on the line. You know, to help others and help people and especially people without a lot of money, you know. But I mean, what you felt inside of you in your feelings when doctor give credits of your sayings and want to work with you.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I don't have a degree, but I worked with
Mhm.
PhDs. I still can't get this through my head. And I just came back from San Jose in California and did a speech at the convention, the biology convention at Sin Bio Beta. And it's really weird to have that feeling to work with PhD immunologist chemists with no degree. And what that did to me actually is it forced me to study so hard
Uh-huh.
to try to catch
Figure it
up because I felt so bad that I didn't have a degree that I had a lot of guilt. You know, I'll be honest. I just had a lot of guilt that, okay, I could beat snake bite, big deal. But I don't have a degree. I'm a college dropout. You know,
Yeah,
and
you have the
I never
experience.
I never lie about that, but what it forced me to do is to study so hard and to be so clear on my mission that I went beyond the degree because no university is gonna teach me how to do this. I had to do it myself. So I had to be my own basement scientist, basically. Not just to beat the bites, but to understand the knowledge of snake venom, what protein is, what amino acids are, what disulfide bridging means, and all that crazy stuff that goes with it that I delved into it so hard because I didn't have a degree. And that's my own fault. I don't wanna piss off anybody that has a degree because I don't, and I make that very, very clear. Even though my title is director of herpetology, I don't think I'm a herpetologist. I'm not a venom expert. I'm just a basic village dude, man. I'm a foot soldier for what I do. You know, and I'm a very humble dude. I don't like to have accolades. I don't want credentials. I don't want trophies. I don't want anything. My work speaks for itself. And my work are those bites. My work is presentations. My work is knowledge. And I wish I could go back and change a lot of that, but since I can't, I won't. That's it.
Donc, en fait, ce qu'il dit, c'est que, le fait de déjà, c'était très bizarre pour lui, de travailler avec des équipes d'immunologues, de scientifiques, qui avaient quand même un niveau incroyable, tu vois? Il rappelle que c'est quelqu'un qui n'a pas de diplôme et que lui, en fait, son travail, ça a été par l'expérience. C'est à travers l'expérience qu'il a appris et le fait de travailler avec des équipes de chercheurs, qui avaient un niveau tel, un niveau incroyable, ça l'a forcé à étudier, à apprendre des choses, à savoir ce que c'était une protéine, à savoir ce que c'était le venin, à savoir comment ça agissait et cetera. Lui avait l'expérience par le corps, mais il a dû le fait de travailler avec des scientifiques l'a amené justement à étudier, à travailler dur et à comment dire? À s'élever si tu veux par rapport à ses connaissances, théoriques. Lui, il dit qu'il est très simple en fait et que c'est pas quelqu'un qui cherche, des reconnaissances ou quelque chose comme ça. Lui, il a travaillé sur l'expérience à travers son corps et il veut offrir, enfin, il est un maillon de la chaîne et il veut offrir ça, à l'humanité.
OK. Tim, on peut voir que vous avez fait beaucoup d'interviews, heu et au-delà du sensationnel, est-ce que finalement, est-ce que les gens ont compris votre parcours et ce que vous voulez transmettre? Et puis dans un deuxième temps, que vous êtes là pour l'humanité et apporter quelque chose, vous êtes le maillon de la chaîne en gros et donc je voulais vous remercier.
OK. Donc, attends Zélico, par rapport à ta question donc, tu disais que?
Alors je disais, au-delà du sensationnel,
Oui, OK.
hem, je sais que vous avez fait beaucoup d'interviews, mais réellement, est-ce que les personnes ont compris votre démarche ou pas?
Okay. Tim, you speak a lot with a lot of people around the world, and you have give a lot of interview and talk about what you are doing, what you're doing with your research, but does the people understand really deeply what you're doing? What is your action means? I mean, you work for the entire humanity, and you work not just for the sensational, just to is not to be famous, or is not to have something, I mean, to have a lot of money or stuff like that. You really do um, more than you. I mean, you doing for all the humanity. In the beginning of the interview, you speak about people that don't have a lot of money and need to have medicine because the snake bites. So does the people understand what is your really deep deep, I mean, can I say that, deep objective with your research?
Well, some people understand it, some people don't.
Mhm.
But most people do. I mean, they just understand it because y- basically people die. And that's how this whole thing started. People die from snakebite. And I had the courage to beat snake venom. And they realize that. It's kind of hard from where I come from, though, because I live in the middle of the woods in Wisconsin where there's only 2 venomous snakes. What they don't understand is why I represent people from all over the world that die from snake
Mhm.
bite. And that's always been tough because they look at me like, okay, I have a normal job. I'm in the Midwest of Wisconsin. Why are you doing this? And the reason I always can argue that is like, well, I can beat snake bite and make a difference in the world.
Mhm.
I don't really think about making money or having a nice life. I think about how I can represent the people that die from snake bite. That's always been in my soul since 1973. Like I said, first garter snake bite. It's been in my soul for almost 50 years.
Mhm.
And I think that's a great way to go out, to do what you
Exactly.
believe in, to do what you have proven in yourself, not just my own body, but with publications. And someday I hope that at the end of the day that we'll have a better antivenom in the field. It would actually be better to vaccinate people to where you don't need antivenom. That's what I did in myself to not use antivenom. So we could actually have 2 products. We could have a vaccine and an antivenom based on my blood. It makes perfect sense. You're not going to vaccinate 5 million people a year. I know that. I'm not going to see that. But
Uh,
those are logical decisions that I think about on a daily basis. I do it for a living, and it's a wonderful thing, man, to be part of medical history, to change not just immunology, but biology and genetics and everything, man, just based on what I did. And we already have done that. That's why the publication came out on May 2nd, 2025. And that just didn't change me. That changed herpetology. That changed immunology. That changed science. It's the first time it's been studied that hard in the history of the world since humans 6 million years ago. That's huge.
yeah, you're part of something bigger than you.
Can comprehend.
Mhm. Donc, also, Zelico, want to thank you of the name in the name of humanity, and I do too. Is a very honor, a big honor to speak with you. Really.
No, I appreciate it, guys. What you guys are doing is so important because you're taking my one voice and putting it through the world. And every
Mhm.
interview I do is important to me because it just translates around the world. You know,
Exactly.
so in the last year that I've interviewed, 1,000 times, I think about that the journalists are one of the biggest things. Whether you can speak English or not, or I don't care who you are, race, religion, I don't give a shit. It translates to the entire world. So my simple message and my simple job is to be part of that environment because it translates to everybody. One interview can reach millions of people. And that's what happened here is it got so crazy that I couldn't quit because if I quit, then I quit on people that die from snakebite. And every interview I do, I don't care what it is, I've interviewed in 6 or 7 continents. But every time I do that, it's not about me, it's about all those people that can hear the message. And in the last year, it's become, oh my God, crazy. Good crazy. Not bad crazy, good crazy.
À Zélico, je lui ai dit que déjà, donc pour répondre à ta question, par rapport aux gens qui comprennent et qui comprennent pas ce qu'il fait, bien évidemment, tu as des gens qui comprennent ce qu'il fait et tu en as d'autres qui comprennent absolument pas pourquoi il fait ça et surtout pourquoi il fait ça pour des gens qu'il connaît même pas, qui sont au bout de l'autre du monde, quoi, tu vois? Mais pour lui, c'est important de participer à ça et il je l'ai remercié, en ton nom et en mon nom par rapport à son œuvre et par rapport à ce qu'il fait pour l'humanité. Et il m'a retourné le compliment en nous remerciant par rapport à ce que toi aussi tu fais, le fait de parler, de pouvoir, mettre sa voix et son expérience, dans tes lives vont permettre qu'un maximum de monde entende ce message et ça aide à diffuser ce message et pour lui, c'est important. C'est aussi important de faire ce qu'il fait que ce que toi tu fais par rapport au fait que il y a des gens qui sont de plus en plus au courant et que si les gens, si par exemple, il y a plus de gens au courant, il y aura plus de gens sauvés et cetera. Donc on participe tous à quelque chose qui nous dépasse et il te remercie également.
Thank you, Tim. Vous avez le sentiment d'avoir consacré votre vie, à quelque chose de plus grand que vous?
Do you feel you dedicate your life to something greater than yourself?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you feel that you dedicate your life to something greater than yourself? Do you have this feeling inside?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, for me, doing something, again, for humanity and doing the right thing in life with what's going on in the world right now
Mhm.
makes me feel so good. To
Mhm.
do the right thing, to be honest. If you make a mistake, admit it. Um, just to be honest with yourself on
Mhm.
every single level of my life, whether it be cobra bites or no degree, or all the shit that's happened to me. I was always honest and I was always truthful to myself. And that's what got me ahead. And that's what made me who I am. I am not perfect. I have no PhD. I have no grand story. I have no mansion. I have used cars. I live in the woods. I really got nothing other than my loyalty to my heart and myself and my compassion for people. And that's what drives me.
But you really rich inside because giving that and put you on the line like that is you must be very, very rich inside of you, really, Tim, really.
I appreciate that. And what you said is 100% true because I have to sleep at night knowing that I did the right thing
Exactly.
and to not hurt anybody and to help people out regardless of who you are. And if I can die with that on my gravestone, I'll take it, man. It don't get better than that.
Pour lui, ça a toujours été très important d'être droit et honnête, d'être, à tous les niveaux de sa vie, tu vois? D'être franc, d'être loyal, tu vois? D'être droit, en fait et ça, c'est quelque chose qui le remplisse à l'intérieur, de joie et qui le rend fier de lui et que quand il s'endort et cetera, il est content d'avoir fait ce qu'il a fait, quoi, tu vois? Il est dans sur le bon chemin, tu vois? Il se sent en adéquation avec son âme et il se sent bien, tu vois? Et il voudrait, continuer comme ça et même mourir comme ça dans cet état ou dans le sens où il a fait ce qu'il devait faire pour l'humanité et c'est plus grand que lui, quoi.
OK. Tim, j'ai encore 2 questions avant de terminer. Est-ce que,
Before we quit, so the first question is je t'écoute, Nico?
est-ce que vous pouvez nous raconter la nuit où vous êtes mordre par, 2 cobras en 2001? Parce que déjà 1, mais là 2, est-ce que vous pouvez nous raconter cette histoire? Comment ça s'est passé?
Tim, could you explain us the story about in 2001 when you get bitten by two cobra in the same time? Because just one is already a lot, but two is like amazing, you know. So could you explain us this history?
Yeah, that was 2001, September 12th. 6 months prior to that, in 2000, a good friend of mine died in a car accident, and it fucked me up, man. I mean, bad. She gave me needles to inject. She was a vet tech, and I took one cobra bite at 11 o'clock at night, and at 12 o'clock on 2012, I took my second one, and I just wanted to see if I could beat it, and I didn't beat it. I virtually died. I had to go to ICU, absolutely paralyzed, couldn't see. I couldn't move, because snake venom doesn't affect your central nervous system, it
Uh-huh.
affects your peripheral nervous system. So when I went down and I got back out of that because I made a mistake, that was horrible. I had apologized to the zoo, the world. What am I fucking doing here, man? You know? And at that point is when everything changed because I never wanted to experience that again. It was a mistake. I accepted it and I never made it again. Actually, what I did is even worse. When I did the Black Mamba Taipan bites back to back on YouTube, all filmed, all legit shit, I went back to that day and I had to revisit that day on my failure. And I look back at hindsight now, like, okay, it worked because it was a horrible failure, but why did I do it? Why did I make those mistakes? And
So Tim, if I catch what you take, so the big mistake is that you take the second bite few hours after, right?
yeah, second bite wiped me out. I ended up in ICU. I was flatlined. I was basically
Okay.
dead. And
And
then I
you
had to
couldn't
come
go?
back. I had to come back from that and reinvent the whole program and determine that I'm married. I have kids, or at that point, a kid, now kids. Um, why did I do it? And why did I make that mistake? And if I do it again, it's done. I mean, this whole project will be done. But I went back and hit it even harder and reinvented myself to not make those mistakes again. Have better math, have better pictures, wave at them out better and get better at it. And I never ever went back and used antivenom again. And the funny thing is, now now we're making an antivenom based on the antivenom that I used.
Uh-huh.
And that's true.
So is the fact because the anti-venom you use, right?
Yeah, I had to use it from the zoo. I had my own antivenom in my refrigerator, but the doctors didn't, or the EMTs didn't know I had it. So it never
Mhm.
got to the hospital. So I had to use the zoos and then call the zoo and apologize and say, I'll pay for it, or you can have my antivenom. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh man, this ain't working. And the ex-wife said, you either fix it or get fucking stop doing it. This is too crazy. It's too ridiculous, man. And
Yeah.
I went back and I fixed it 1,000-fold because I made a mistake. I admitted the mistake. but I never wanted to make it again. And I never ever did. And now we're making a human antivenom based off my mistake. True story.
Donc, en fait, ce qui s'est passé, c'est que, oui, il a donc déjà, il dit qu'il a fait beaucoup d'erreurs et dans le sens où il a utilisé un antivenin, qui venait d'un zoo, tu vois? Il a été complètement, paralysé. En fait, il était, proche de la mort et donc, quand, il a travaillé sur, sa formule à lui, il s'est basé vraiment sur les erreurs qu'il a fait et qui ont failli lui coûter la vie pour faire quelque chose, qui était beaucoup plus safe, quoi, tu vois? Et à ce moment-là, quand il a failli mourir, même son ex-femme de l'époque lui a dit: «Mais je comprends pas, tu as une famille et cetera, pourquoi tu fais, des choses aussi folles et cetera?» Mais le fait d'avoir été aussi loin et d'avoir repris autant de risques lui permet d'avoir mis au point quelque chose de beaucoup plus safe et basé sur les erreurs qu'il avait, apprises par l'expérience.
Ok, donc ma dernière question, Kim, si vous pouviez adresser un message au jeune Tim, que lui diriez-vous aujourd'hui?
Okay, Tim, if you could send a message to the young Tim Fried fascinated by snake, what would you tell him today?
Go to college, get a degree, and don't play with venom. But if that was true, I would never
Va à
be
l'UP,
here.
étudier un diplôme et arrête de jouer avec le venin.
Ok, merci beaucoup Tim, on va arriver à la fin de notre interview. Merci infiniment Tim d'avoir accepté cette interview et d'avoir partagé avec nous votre parcours absolument hors du commun. Derrière l'image spectaculaire des morsures de venin, on découvre surtout une histoire de détermination, de sacrifice, de curiosité scientifique et de volonté d'aider l'humanité à avancer dans la lutte contre les morsures de serpents. Votre témoignage montre aussi à quel point certaines grandes avancées peuvent parfois naître en dehors des chemins traditionnels, à travers des parcours atypiques et une passion poussée à l'extrême. Merci également à vous tous d'avoir suivi cette émission sur Histoire et Révélations. N'hésitez pas à liker, commenter et partager cette interview. Thank you, Tim. Merci beaucoup. Passez une bonne soirée.
Okay. Tim, so Delico and me say that it was very nice to speak with you. It was so interesting, and we can measure the work you made for the humanity, and we thank you for all of what you have done. It was very nice to understand and to learn about the snakes and all the stuff that you put in place to save people. For us also, really, Tim, it was amazing. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for all what you done.
Thanks, guys. Much love. I appreciate it. Love you.
Thank you. Donc il a dit oui, vraiment avec grand plaisir et tout. Ça lui fait plaisir que tu prennes des morceaux de ses vidéos pour partager, son message et il te dit encore merci pour cette interview. C'était vraiment très agréable pour lui de pouvoir parler avec toi de ce sujet.
Et je pense que ça ne sera pas la dernière interview qu'on fera ensemble parce que je trouve très intéressant et je voudrais aller un peu plus loin.
And he asked you also if we can have another interview when you have time, because we would like to go deeply with question, and it's so interesting for us what the message is yours. If you are agree with it, we could make another time like this. We can go deeply in this conversation.
Yeah, anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donc n'oubliez pas de partager, de liker la vidéo. Je vous dis à très bientôt pour une nouvelle émission d'Histoire et Révélations. Ciao.
Thanks, guys. Love you.